Welcome to Whether or Not. We've got a great show lined up for you today as we have a very interesting feature on how weather affects emergency response and some exciting nature in the news stories as well about Russia and the moon. And of course, we have your latest weekend forecast. So sit back, relax, and Whether or Not starts right now. Hello, welcome to Whether or Not. I'm your host, Brian Mastro.
And I'm your forecaster, Ann Rodden.
So it looks like we have some cold air coming to our area for this weekend.
Definitely. We have an Arctic blast coming our way into the region, but I'll have more on that later in your forecast.
It's not looking like a good weekend if you have any outdoor activities planned. But for now, let's get some nature in the news. While the frigid cold of winter has embraced central Pennsylvania, Australia is enduring a brutal heat wave. Perth, Australia sweltered through 4 straight days of temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, which is 104 degrees Fahrenheit, from February 7th through 10th, which ties the record-long such streak in the city from February of 1933. This streak also helped set a new record for number of total 40-degree-plus days for any summer in the Western Australian city, at 7 total days throughout the summer, topping the record from the summer of 1998. Perth averages 4 40-plus degree days per year, and the average temperature this time of year is 32 centigrade, which is around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat wave has increased concern over the city's already dwindling water supply, as runoff for the area dams is at an all-time lowest point since the construction of the dams in 1911. There are multiple new water treatment plants that are under construction that officials are hoping will be finished later this year. As for the heat, relief is in sight as temperatures will be significantly cooler this weekend.
In a small northern Russian city, an urban heat island effect exists even in the Arctic. Sunlight can heat dense building materials, and when night falls, buildings will release some of their solar energy into the air. This helps explain why urban centers tend to be a few degrees warmer than nearby rural areas. But in the Arctic, indoor heating, not the sun, would be the major heat source, especially in the winter. Researchers set up weather stations to collect data in the 5 largest cities north of the Arctic Circle for about a week during the polar night. Apathy, with a population of about 59,000, showed the strongest effect. Its city center was up to 10 degrees Celsius warmer than outlying areas.
It has long been known that the moon's positioning in the sky changes the tides, but new evidence from researchers at the University of Washington shows a connection between the moon and precipitation as well. When the moon is high in the sky, the gravitational pull is greater, causing the ocean waters to protrude outward. This creates the high tides. In actuality, the entirety of Earth's atmosphere is what bulges towards the moon when it's at its highest point. This bulge increases air pressure slightly, and this increase in air pressure also causes a slight decrease in precipitation amounts as well. The variations are minuscule, causing variations of less than 5%, so it is unlikely that forecasters will have to start taking the moon into account. The scientists will continue to study this phenomenon and further investigate how the moon phases correlate with rainfall amounts and the frequency of storms, as well as its position.
Storms delivering crashing waves and powerful rain showers have put homes along Coastal Bluff near San Francisco in danger, forcing residents of an apartment complex to flee. The city manager of Pacifica has declared a local emergency after strong waves allegedly caused by El Niño storms ate away at part of the seawall in a coastal community. These storms damaged most of the municipal pier and threatened several homes. Residents are asking for state and federal assistance to help aid in the response of the growing list of failing public infrastructure. Officials in Pacifica have been scrambling in recent days as many areas of the city have taken a hard hit from the ocean. Hello, I'm Rodden with your forecast this week. Friday, we have freezing temperatures over the Great Lakes right now. That Arctic front will make its way towards us and will bring along a snow squall, which is likely, along with it, a northwesterly prevailing wind will bring those colder temperatures Friday night. But by Saturday, those temperatures are going to be in our area. It's going to be freezing on Saturday. Those chance of showers, snow showers are likely to occur as well, especially in the western portions of Pennsylvania. But by Sunday, we are seeing a little bit of break in the snow showers. Beautiful high pressure system is developing over our area. We see those sunnier conditions for Sunday. Temperatures are going to start to warm up a bit, but they're still going to be chilly for this time. So let's talk about numbers. In terms of a high on Friday, 24 degrees, partly sunny conditions. By Friday night, we are dipping down to 9 degrees, and that chance of snow showers is increased as that Arctic front passes through. But by Saturday, we are experiencing only a high of 11 degrees. So this is some of the coldest temperatures we've seen this far in our winter here in State College. Snow is likely to occur on Saturday, but by Saturday night, -2 degrees. It's going to be freezing on Saturday night, so just be aware of that when you're outside. But we can look forward to a cold, warmer day on Sunday. We are expecting temperatures still in the teens, but mostly sunny conditions, so that sun's going to peek up in for us on Valentine's Day as well. So here is Michael Spagnola with a feature on how weather impacts emergency.
24 hours a day, 365 days a year, first responders for police, fire, and EMS have to be ready to respond to any 911 emergency. And here in Centre County, with a variety of weather conditions from heavy rain and severe weather during the summer to cold and snow here during the winter, weather conditions will play a bigger role as anything and how first responders will respond to any given emergency. Students with Company 20, Penn State's University Ambulance Service, are on standby at the University Health Services Building to respond to medical 911 calls. From car wrecks to falls to seizures and cardiac arrests, with such a broad scope of people on the University Park campus, the EMTs here must be ready for anything.
So we have 3 trucks in our service. One truck is always in service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On that truck there are 3 EMTs, 2 crew members, and 1 volunteer.
Working around the clock in Happy Valley means the members of Company 20 see a variety of weather conditions, and responding to a call in bad weather can be dangerous. Ever-changing weather conditions play just as big of a role as anything else in how EMS prepares and responds to emergencies.
Also, that means that while responding to calls, we have to take it easy, not drive so fast, which means that we might have a longer responding time, longer time to take them to the hospital. We take our safety into consideration, so we have to think about the safety of our crew as well as the patient while we're driving there.
Weather itself creates its own set of issues. Most of the weather conditions that cause emergencies for some, Company 20 is also impacted by. Oftentimes, some of the bigger issues, such as a plane crash at the University Park Airport, is not likely to happen on a warm, sunny afternoon. It will be in heavy snow and driving winds.
Snow and ice also affects what kind of calls we have. When we see snow and ice cover, we see a lot more falls, injuries due to falling from ice, and we also see hypothermia a lot. In cold weather conditions, we keep hot packs on the truck in case we get calls for that. We also have all the appropriate equipment for fall injuries. In the winter months, we also see a higher intake of calls for car accidents due to ice and snow. People sometimes drive carelessly on the roads, and we have to be prepared to see those.
First responders in Centre County are not the only ones that deal with adverse weather conditions on a day-to-day basis. From coast to coast, first responders everywhere have to be prepared for any weather situation. Andy Moffitt, a sophomore here in the meteorology department at Penn State, is a volunteer search and rescue operator for his hometown in El Dorado, California.
If it's really bad snow, we typically let our off-highway vehicle team go out first because they have large Jeeps and four-wheel drive, and there'll be snow sometimes several feet deep up in the mountains, and we can't get up there with our personal vehicles, so we'll send them up first. and they'll either clear the route. We also have a snowcat, so they can get a lot farther than we can just with our own vehicles, especially in the heavy snow. If it is extreme weather conditions, we do try to make sure we're going as quickly as possible, especially if the person is alive or like if they're higher risk. So if they have autism or are elderly, we'll make sure that we get as many people as we can as soon as possible. If there's a chance that if they've been gone a very long time and it's been weeks that they've been missing, we will typically cancel searches if it's extremely bad weather for our own safety, because the safety of the searchers matters more at that point than the chance that we can find someone out there.
With some snow this week and cold in the forecast for a very busy weekend here on campus, first responders are getting prepared so that they can respond rapidly and, most importantly, safely to a 911 emergency on campus. For Weather or Not, I'm Michael Spagnolo.
Thanks, Michael. Let's take a look at our extended forecast to see how cold it's going to get this weekend. Again, like I said, for Friday, partly sunny conditions, a high of 24 degrees, overnight low at 9. But for Saturday, we are expecting those snow showers as that Arctic air just remains over Pennsylvania. Only a high of 11 degrees and your overnight low at -2. For Sunday, partly sunny conditions, a high of 16 degrees, overnight low for Sunday at 8. Let's take a look at your extended day forecast. We do see a warming trend in the mix. Monday just below average, so around 20 degrees is likely on Monday, but by Friday we can expect temperatures to be closer to 45 degrees. Your conditions, Monday we are expecting some snow. Tuesday we are expecting partly sunny conditions, but by Wednesday again that snow peaks right back in again. But Thursday we can expect those sunnier skies, and by Friday we can expect some partially cloudy conditions.
Thank you for that forecast. It does look like it's going to get quite chilly this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Temperatures are going to be plummeting this week, especially into our Valentine's Day weekend. The low on Saturday, it might even reach below 0, Brian.
Yeah, it's not going to be that good of a weekend to be outside. But we are still lacking in the snowfall department for this winter, which brings us to our Weather Whiz quiz, which was, what is the least amount of snow State College has ever seen in a recorded winter season? Is it A, 4.5 inches, B, 12.3 inches, C, 17.9 inches, or D, 20.1 inches? If you guess C, you are correct. The record was set in the winter from 1979 to 1980.
Yeah, so far State College has only seen 11.9 accumulated inches of snow for this year.
Yeah, so that record from 1980 could be in jeopardy if we don't get another 6 inches by the end of this winter. And that's all we have time for this evening. I'm your host, Brian Mastro.
And I'm Ann Rodden. Have a great day.